Hello guys, in this lesson I will show you how to deform a geometry or a curve using the particles. So let's create a simple curve. So I will go to create and then I will go to NURBS primitives and then I will choose circle. Okay, I will scale it a little bit, something like that. Okay, so now I will select the curve and then I will go to FX tab and then in the N particles menu I will choose soft body. Okay, I will leave the option box as default. Okay, reset the settings and I will click on create. So now as you see, Maya created some particles on every vertex. So if I select the curve, for example, and I go to isolate, actually I need to hide the particles. So now if I right click and choose control vertex, now you see I have a point here. Okay, so Maya created one particle on every point. So now when the particles will move, this will move the vertex with it. Okay, so let's show the particles again by holding Shift and H. So now if I go and hit play, nothing happens as you see because we don't have any force on the particles. So I will select the particles and then I will go to fields and solvers and I will add turbulence, for example, and let's hit play again. As you see, we have a slight movement, so I will increase the magnitude of the turbulence field. In the channel box I will set that to 15. Okay, so now if I hit play, let's increase that a little bit more, 50. And now as you see, we have deformer curve. Okay, so now let's say you want to render the curve, okay, or the geometry you wanted to deform. So you can simply just hide the particle. Okay, so if you come here and select the particle and hide that by holding Control and H, the problem is now if I go back and then click play, as you see nothing happens and this is really weird. So I will select that and hit Shift and H again to show them. And now I will go to attribute editor and then I will go to the radius. Where is the radius? Particle size, and I will set that to 0. Okay, so now it's hidden. Or you can scroll down. I believe it's somewhere here in the object display. I think you can turn off the visibility. Let's see if that works. Actually, this didn't work. It's like hiding the particle from the channel box. Let's see here. I think if you set the primary visibility, and now if you render that, we'll see if this works. So I will click on render and let's hit A to see. Okay, now the particles is not showing. Let's increase the radius to be sure that works. And now if I hit render, if I hit A, as you see it worked. Okay, so you can set the radius to 0, or you can come here and turn off the primary visibility. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. So I will go to file and then click on new scene. Okay, and I will click on don't save. By the way, when we hit the render, we didn't see the curve, right? Because as you see, Maya don't render the curve. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. So I will go to create and then I will click on polygon primitives and then I will click on sphere. Okay, so I will scale the sphere a little bit and then I will select the sphere and I will go again to N particles and then I will click on soft body. Okay, again I will go to the radius to make it 0, or you can come to N particle and then in the create option set it to points. Okay, before we create the particles. but either way you need to set that to 0. Okay, so now we don't see the particles. So now let's apply a force. I will select the particles and then I will go to field and solvers and add turbulence, and let's increase the magnitude a little bit. And now if I hit play, now you see we are deforming the geometry using the particles. Okay, and now of course if I go to render and let's add just a light to see the geometry. Okay, so here is the geometry and we don't see the particles. Okay, so that's it for this lesson. I will see you in the next lesson.